focus on?
Expenses.
You want to start with the expenses?
Okay, income. Income.
No. Let me do this. Let's write this first, because for me, if you do that, you're gonna complicate. Remember, you are against our technique, because remember our technique. We said we keep highlighting. So far, I highlighted up to what? Cost of sales. What is the next step?
Rent income.
Can you see, if you were focusing on the strategy, you know that whatever is not highlighted is next. So rent income is an income. So I'll start with my income. But you can start with the expenses, but I'm just saying to avoid confusion. For me, I will follow the trial balance. I'm gonna say now I transfer. Where do I transfer incomes to? Where do I transfer them to?
To the profit and loss account.
Profit and loss account. Can you see what I believe in? So if I put a strategy, I focus on it so that I cannot confuse myself. Can you see now?
Yes.
So that's why I said I prefer us to highlight. So this is giving me some hint. I've used this already. I finished. That was the trading account. So what is the next account that I see? Rent income. I transfer incomes now. Can you see now? Unless if the trial balance has mixed them, because sometimes they can mix incomes and expenses. Can you see?
Yes, sir.
But it doesn't matter. You can start with expenses. You can start with what? With the incomes. Doesn't matter. So let's start with the incomes. Um, Incomes are transferred to the profit and loss. So what do you think? Just say something before we can continue. What do you think?
So you're gonna take the rent income amount.
Which account must be debited? Which account must be credited?
So income
Which
will be
account will transfer it?
deb- income will be debited.
Income will be debited. Okay. I'm gonna write rent income. How much is that rent income?
14,040.
14,040. Do you have any other income? Because we must put all the incomes first.
No, rent income was the only one.
So if you had other incomes, you'll write them one by one, eh? All of them one by one,
Yes.
and put them on the debit, okay? And
Okay.
thereafter, the other account will be what?
Profit and loss.
Even if you can go to the profit and loss, you can see that we recorded rent income on the credit side of profit and loss. You can go and check. This shows that profit and loss has been credited. You can see, you can go and double check under the general ledger account.
Makes sense, sir.
Makes sense.
Yes. Can you do one more?
Okay. One more like.
I think the next one we did was capital.
No. Capital, we're not even there. We
Oh,
just did, we still have more accounts to deal with. What is next?
okay. The expenses, all the expenses under the profit and
Or like,
loss.
how will I treat them now to expenses?
Okay, you're gonna say, um, let me just. So the next one is salaries and wages.
Debit or credit?
You're gonna credit salaries and wages.
So which account will I debit?
You're
Just hold for a moment.
debiting profit and loss. Okay.
Just hold for a moment. Let me just check who's knocking here. Just few seconds.
Okay, sir.
I'm coming now. Yeah, I don't like it. But I'm not sure it will affect one. If you wish about them, okay, sorry, ne?
No problem, sir.
Okay, now
Okay, I said salaries and wages
the
are
other
gonna be
account,
credited, and then
yes.
profit and loss will be debited.
So now must can you say I like that? Now we just because the one that is debited always come first. Remember,
Yes,
because you said profit and loss is
will
debited.
be debited,
Hmm.
and the amount is 46,800.
No, no, I can't write. Remember, profit and loss. There are too many accounts. I must first put those accounts. Ne? You said salaries and wages. How much? Salaries and wages.
Salaries and wages is 46,800 under the credit side.
Okay, 46,800. And then the next expense,
Rates and taxes, which
rate
is
and tax.
debited, which will go to the credit side.
How much?
5,220.
The next one,
Credit losses, it's debited, it will go to the credit side. The amount is 1,260.
1,260. 1,260.
And then we've got office expenses,
Office expenses.
credit side as well.
How much?
14,400.
Okay. Any other expense?
Insurance, which is the last one, 26,776.
Insurance. How much?
Sorry, it is 26,776.
Okay. Next.
That's the only expenses.
Okay, now you just have to add them and we're gonna put the amount here because they all belong to profit and loss. Can you see profit and loss has been debited with all these amounts, but you just put the total here. You add everything.
Okay. The
It's just a
amount
complete
for it,
what we did.
the amount for it is 349,020.
No, I can't be that. Never.
Oh, oh, because we added capital. Sorry, sir. Like I have to calculate again.
No, no, please don't refer to what we did before. It's a dangerous exercise. You must not look at the accounts that we did in the exam. Those accounts won't be there. I want you to focus on what we are doing here, because I think you took that 349 from what we did before. I'm afraid it's gonna confuse you. So what I mean, I want you to add these expenses for me, and I put the total here. Like what we did
Okay,
here,
so
we had only one income. That's why we had something like this. So if we had many incomes, we should have added all of them, and the total was supposed to be in line with what? Profit and loss. Does that make sense?
it's
Yes. How much are the expenses?
um the expenses are 94,456.
456.
Yes, 94,456. Yes.
That's So please ask a question. I'm not going to write narrations now. I'm just going to ignore narrations. You know that narration will always be, what is the narration for this?
Closing transfer.
Perfect. So tell me if you are okay so far.
I think so. I need to practice. Yeah, for this section, I'm going to practice because I'm understanding now, and then I don't want to be confused when I'm doing. I think when I'm done with the section of this, then I'll ask questions. But for now, I understand. But at the same breath, I need more practice. If you get what I'm saying.
Okay, no problem. Now, I want to ask you a question now. After we recorded all the incomes and expenses, what do we normally do? Remember, we are busy with the profit and loss. We recorded all the incomes and expenses. What is the next step? Okay, let me give you like this. We've got profit and loss. We have got figures on the debit
Yes.
side. We've got figures on the credit side. What is the next step there? Do we just leave it?
No. No, you need to balance.
We need to balance. But here, remember, we don't have an account. So we must have a technique. We must balance it according to what we have here. So what we can do
Okay.
here, can you see wherever you see profit and loss?
Yes.
If the profit and loss is on the credit, it means that is an income. If the profit and loss is on the debit, it means that is an expense. So what you do, whatever profit and loss is on the credit, you take the credit and you less the debit. Does that make sense?
Okay, so let me just write that down. Okay, so what you're saying, you take all the profit and loss amounts, and then if it's on the credit side, we debit.
Uh-uh.
We minus from
Wait,
that.
wait, wait. I said, profit and loss. If you see it on the credit side, you add. If you see it on the debit side, you less. Only here. I'm talking about only this part. I'm not talking about the other things. I'm just talking about this part. Wherever do you see profit and loss? Yes. It's on the credit side, you add.
Yes.
Do you see profit and loss? Yes. Is it on the credit side? You add. Do you see profit and loss? Yes. Is it on the debit side? You less. And it makes sense because these are expenses and these are the incomes. I don't know if it makes sense.
Yes, it makes sense.
So take out the calculator, do what I just said. Let's see how much you get.
So you're gonna take 334,980 plus 14,040 minus 94,000. Sorry, sir, I can't see. Can you? 94,456. It is 254,564.
If that is positive, it's a net profit. If it's a negative, it's a net loss. Which one is that?
Um, it's a net loss.
Is it a negative on your calculator?
Okay, then it's a positive.
So it can't be a loss because it's a positive.
Okay.
Meaning you
You know
made
why I
net
said
profit.
it's a. You know why I said it's it's a net loss. It's because the amount of the profit and loss is larger than, but like of course that's wrong. So it's okay. I understand.
Remember when we balance profit and loss, go and check the profit and loss. It's not the same as, just check if it's not the same as the profit that we made under profit and loss when we balance it.
It is.
Yes. So we're doing the same thing, it's just that it's a different format. So now where do we transfer that amount to usually? That will give me the next step. That is a net profit, ne?
Yes, it will. So if it's a profit, it will go to capital.
Yes. Now I transfer the net profit to
Capital.
so if we transfer to capital, so what are the two accounts that I'm gonna, because I must transfer that profit to the net profit. So what do you think will be the two accounts?
It will be capital
And
profit and loss.
and
No,
profit
no.
and loss. You are correct. Don't
Wait.
change.
Oh, because the net profit is from the profit and loss. Okay.
Yes. So which one must be debited? Which one must be credited between the two accounts?
Okay, so capital. Let me. Capital will be debited. Profit and loss will be credited.
No, go and check the accounts and check that profit and loss. And if you transfer to the capital, just check. If you debit capital, it means capital is going down. Can capital go down because of profit?
No, it will go up. So
Just go to
profit
the
and
capital
loss.
account that you opened before. Just check under which side did you record that amount.
Profit and loss is credited under the capital account, so then it will be debited under the GJ.
Come again, which account you said I must debit? I must debit?
Profit and loss account.
And I will credit?
Capital.
Just give me a month.
Profit and loss is 254,564.
That's where it's ending. Can you see now? So it's the same thing we did, just that formats are different. So I don't know, but yeah, you
Yeah,
just
so
have
I need to
to practice
practice
so
for
that you
this one.
can. So for the requirement here, for this one, generalize here, they meant this from here.
Okay, so
You see everything?
this one is hard. This one.
Mm. And then sometimes they don't ask you for this generalize, they ask you for general ledger. You open the accounts like this.
Okay, sir.